And now on Capitol Hill, two high-profile budget hearings. On the left side, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin is facing off with lawmakers on the House Homeland Security Committee. And on the right side, Secretary of State Rubio is doing the same in front of lawmakers on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Now, that hearing with Rubio already kicking off with a fiery exchange. Take a listen to what happened when Rubio was asked about the conflict in Iran driving up costs here at home.
Did you warn President Trump before the war in Iran began that this conflict would drive up costs on gas, food, travel, and shipment?
Yeah, I'll warn you right now, I don't do yes or no answers.
Yeah, so I only have 5 minutes. I know when you were the senator, you know about this business. I never did yes or no answers. And I know you're trying to go out so that you can run out my 5 minutes. That's a simple question.
I'm going to run out your 5 minutes. You're running out your 5 minutes.
Did you?
I don't do yes or no questions. You want to ask me a question, I'll answer your question.
I'm answering. You answer my question. It's my time. Did you?
Did I what?
Yes or no? Did you warn President Trump before the Iran war began that this conflict would drive up costs on gas, food, travel, and shipment?
The president,
yes or no?
The president and the full administration was aware that there would be consequences to action, but the consequences of Iran having a nuclear weapon were worse.
All right, live right now on Capitol Hill is CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small. Taurean, day 2 for Rubio testifying on Capitol Hill. Are we hearing the same thing from him that we heard just yesterday?
Yeah, Mugo, and that exchange between Representative Meeks there, the ranking member on that House committee, and Secretary Rubio is pretty indicative of the sentiment Democrats have when it comes to their line of questioning for Rubio. The point that they're looking to make is the fact that even though President Trump says that he has a handle on this conflict, even though Rubio maintains that the U.S. is positioned well in these negotiations that's going on in the hopes of a peace deal, it's Americans who are feeling the brunt of this war, the cost of this conflict, and which is why we also saw yesterday Senator Cory Booker pushing back on Rubio's claim that America has won this war with Iran, considering there's no peace deal on the table at this point, and negotiations have seemingly been fragile in this ceasefire deal that's correlated with it, considering the U.S. has underwent some military strikes, what they call defensive, over the weekend. But I also want to point out a very peculiar exchange between Representative Ted Lieu and Rubio. This one was slightly different. It wasn't as it relates to the war, but about President Trump's cognitive ability. And this came after he questioned Rubio on whether or not he saw President Trump falling asleep during cabinet meetings. This is how that back and forth went.
I'm going to ask you to come clean with the American people and the White House as well. There's something wrong with Donald Trump's health or cognitive abilities. There's a reason he keeps going to the hospital and they keep giving him cognitive tests. We have not seen the president in 8 days. The American people deserve the truth. I yield back.
I don't even know how to respond to that, other than to tell you that it's absurd and ridiculous. And I can't believe we're in a Foreign Affairs Committee meeting in front of the House at an important time in American foreign policy.
Just keep lying, Secretary Rubio. Just keep lying.
Supposedly someone who thinks he's a medical expert when he's not. The truth of the matter is we had a cognitively impaired president in office a few years ago. That's a cognitively impaired president. But I don't like to talk about that because it weakens America.
Congressman Lieu there calling Secretary Rubio a liar, and at one point asked him point blank if he's seen President Trump sleeping during those meetings, to which Rubio responded by saying he did it, but Lieu then pulled out what he called receipts, video evidence that showed the opposite. I'm also going to point out that Rubio's there for a budget request hearing, as he's been with lawmakers yesterday as well. Fiscal year 2027, even though a large bit of this conversation has been on current events, he's asking for a significant increase to certain areas of the State Departments, while also pressing for cuts. One notable one is for USAID. That program would essentially be rendered removed completely in this next budget request if Congress were to grant it as it is.
And that's coming obviously in light of the Ebola outbreak in Central Africa. So interesting there. Taurean, also on the Hill, DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin, what is happening inside that hearing?
Yeah, a lot of back and forth with Democrats on the immigration enforcement efforts as they continue. I have to point out to our viewers that a large part of the longest government shutdown that we've seen in U.S. history was overfunding for immigration enforcement. Mullin defended it, had a very notable back and forth with Congressman Lou Correa from California on whether or not enforcement agents have been acting improperly when it comes to protesters. Mullin pushed back, saying that he believes that no person, even being an American, should be attacking or impeding U.S. officers from doing their jobs. But at the heart of this, though, again, is another budget request. Included in that is ICE funding. As it relates for current funding for ICE, Republicans are looking to push through a reconciliation package that would see funding for several years for immigration enforcement and Customs and Border Patrol. That's one that they'll have to go alone, even though that money has been stymied by riders that the Trump administration has been attaching.
Okay, Taurean Small on Capitol Hill for us today. Thank you.